I'm Marianne Dainton, and I'm a professor of communication at LaSalle University. One of the things I teach my students is that there are lots of different ways to send messages. One of my favorite ways is to say it with food. In this show, I will combine two of my passions, interpersonal communication and cooking. So join me as I teach you how to send a message in the tastiest way possible, through food.
Have you ever given in to temptation? Well, today I will be leading you into temptation with a rich and meaty Bella Umbria Ragu. Bella Umbria Ragu is sort of complicated, just like our theme for today, which is friends with benefits. You know, when you give in to the temptation and add a little romance to what had been a perfectly fine friendship. Well, in order to make a Bella Umbria Ragu, this is going to be complicated. Lots of ingredients. We're going to start off with about a 3-pound boneless pork shoulder. We've got pancetta, which is Italian bacon. To continue with the ragu, you'll need an onion, some rosemary, thyme, and a bay leaf, fresh garlic, carrot, and celery. And then, of course, to get the tomatoes, San Marzano tomatoes. It really makes a difference to use fine Italian tomatoes. We're also going to use Italian wine, 1 cup of your favorite hearty red wine from Italy. Then, of course, we've got the pasta itself. I'm using pappardelle, which is a really strong pasta that can hold up to the meatiness of the ragu. And then we're gilding it a little bit with some extra ingredients. We've got some Parmesan cheese, and then we're going to actually fry some shallots in a little bit of cornmeal. That's the Umbrian part of it. And to really make it Umbrian, some truffle oil. Okay, so we're going to get started now. And our first step is to trim this pork. Now let me tell you, trimming the pork is pretty complicated. A pork shoulder really will fall apart and be beautiful, but it also tends to have a lot of fat in it, so it's going to take a while to do this. You want to start with a knife you're really comfortable with, and it should be a sharp knife. Getting through all of this with a dull knife might lead to injury. So I decided to do a Bella Umbria Ragu because I've been to Italy many times. Last year, in fact, I went 5 times to Italy. And the reality is that most of us are really familiar with Southern Italian cooking, and we're probably slightly familiar with Tuscan cooking, but not many people are really familiar with Umbrian cooking. Umbria is the green heartland of Italy, and the green heartland is full of lots of vegetables and meats. It's where all the farming takes place. I myself, not Italian. I love the country though. And in going to Italy, I discovered that my Lithuanian and English background can't really hold a flame to the fine art of Italian cooking. So I sort of have trained myself by visiting and eating as much as possible. We're going to continue trimming this meat, and we'll be back in a moment after I've done all of the cutting.
I haven't seen you in so long now. Okay. Yeah, 'cause I miss you. No, I miss you more. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna see you in about 5 minutes. You'll come over? Okay. Alright, it sounds good.
Okay, I'm going to preheat my stove top because we need to get it sizzling hot. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll chop up our pancetta. Okay, we can use the same cutting board because we're still dealing with raw meat here. And pancetta, as I said, is Italian-style bacon. It's not smoky like American bacon, but if you don't have pancetta, you can replace it with American-style bacon. What we're going to do is just cut these into little strips that are known as lardoons in the cooking world. And then just pile some on top. We just need little small pieces. And let's see if our pan has gotten hot enough. So we're going to add a little bit of olive oil, not too much. And then we're going to add our pancetta. And then salt and Okay, the pancetta's looking done, so we need to take it out. What we're going to do next is start putting our meat into this hot pan. It's got plenty of fat in here from the pancetta, so you've got to be careful as you put it in. While this is browning, I'm going to get set up to start chopping my vegetables. So our first step is to be cutting the onion. And the onion is a round object, so it requires cutting it in half first. Then we'll take two ends off and peel it. Once we get the peel off, our next step is to slice down. Watching your hands, slice across. That will let us do fine little chops. I know I have another half of my onion to cut, but I can hear by the sounds that the meat is making that my first batch is probably done. And back to my vegetables. So let's work on our celery. And then my carrot. We're almost done prepping our vegetables. We only have to deal with our garlic next. And what I'm going to do is just smash it and take off the skins. We can leave the garlic pieces whole, or at least maybe only rough chop. Last step in prepping the ingredients for the ragu is to open up our can of tomatoes. In order to prepare these suckers, it's time to get your hands dirty. Sort of like Friends with Benefits, sometimes you just have to go for it, even if it's going to get messy afterwards. You just have to squeeze these tomatoes. We're going to put our vegetables into the pan. I'm going to need to get my red wine because we're going to deglaze the pan after the vegetables have cooked. Deglazing adds liquid to the bottom of the pan, and we're going to scrape up all of those yummy brown bits. Once we've deglazed, we're going to add our tomatoes and add our herbs, and we'll be ready to make our ragu.
Wait, can we just stop for a minute? Like, stop playing this game?
You drunk.
I don't want to be just your friend. I want to be more than just your friend. I want to be your girlfriend. I want to make this official. Like, it hurts me sometimes to know that we're nothing more than just friends. Like, do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, I do see where you're coming from. We should make it official. You should be my girl.
I'm so happy.
It's time to put the meat and all of the juices. All right, we've got our meat in. Now it's just the process of putting it into the oven. So we're going to work on the next part of the complication, and that's to slice some shallots. Shallots are in the onion family, but they're a lot milder. We're going to slice them thin, and then we're going to beat them in some egg, do a little egg wash, and do some cornmeal to coat them. That corn represents the Umbrian forest and the farmland that we see there. We just want to get that cornmeal to get a light golden brown. Make it crispy so you have some textural differences between the unctuousness of the ragu and the crispness of the shallots. Okay, our shallots are done. Our pasta is cooking. Time to check on that ragu. Okay, so our pasta's done. So we just need to ladle some of this ragu right over the top. So almost done. Remember that pancetta? Next we add the crispy pancetta on top, our crispy shallots, a drizzle of truffle oil, and then some grated Parmigiano Reggiano, the best cheese that Italy produces. And there you have it, Bella Umbria Ragu. Beautiful Umbria, rich, full of all sorts of different textures, really complicated, just like Friends with Benefits.